Welcome back. You're watching the game. Now, with the PBA Governors Cup eliminations winding down, every game is crucial for the playoffs. Now, still joining us tonight to preview the upcoming game day is PBA Rush analyst coach Mark Molina. And of course, Diego Dario will be giving his points as well kasi professional player din naman siya.
Right.
PBA player din yung partner ko dito. So, let's go first with the TNT and Northport matchup. A lot of people are looking at this. Okay, from top of the table, bottom of the table, a lot of repercussions here, coach, because Northport could decide the fate here of another franchise in Phoenix.
That's right. And Northport, they played so well their previous game against Rain or Shine. This is their last chance. They win this game, they can force a playoff for number 8. And they will need the same three-point shooting that they had in that last game that they had. I think they shot like 19 out of 38 or 39. Insane number led by Murphy. And then even the veterans like Jeff Chan, Zamar, even Arwin had this fair share of threes in that game.
Yeah, I want to talk about si Zamar in particular because you mentioned the shooters here could be a key against TNT. You mentioned Murphy, Jeff Chan, of course. We all know that he's synonymous with shooting, but Zamar had a breakout almost last time around.
That's the key there because Murphy's going to get his numbers. Bolick will be as a facilitator, and if the other guys are making their shots, then they will have a puncher's chance against TNT. Without three-point shooting, I don't think they stay close against TNT.
Jegs, motivation here for TNT, already secured the top 4 and twice a beat advantage, but still the race to the top seed. Sa palagay mo ba, does that matter, the top seed at the moment for TNT, or are they at the point that, okay, we had a bit of a break because of the All-Star, get back in the groove, figure things out? Where do you think they're at?
Well, knowing how TNT runs their whole team, their organization, they always, do their best every single game, no matter what the situation is. So when you talk about this TNT team, a win and the way that they would play, if they play the right way here against Northport, they will use that momentum going into the playoffs, especially because, that's where it all matters in the playoffs.
Coach Mark, key players for you, RHJ, Ronde Hollis Jefferson, had to think about how to say that properly, and of course, Calvin Oftana.
Calvin, because TNT has so many guards. Mikey doesn't play well, Pugoy can step up, or Jason Castro can step up there. But in that forward position, Calvin needs to be a consistent performer. Toy Rosario's no longer there. They do not have a scorer in that 3-4 position for TNT. And Calvin has been the man the last few games for them. If he continues to do that, that's why they're on top of the standings, because of him. And of course, because of our GH. They have not lost with him. They were doing well, but obviously, Coach Jolas and TNT management, they saw something in this guy to make a change. And I think he's a perfect fit because he can play inside and outside.
Of course, and again, TNT and Northport, one of the first matchups to look out for. Again, 8-1 TNT, and of course Northport down to 3-7, but still with a chance to make it to the playoffs. On the other side, NLEX against the San Miguel Beermen. This game has so many repercussions, not just involving them, to the point that the Manalco Bolts even have a few repercussions here. For those who are wondering, how can this game affect you guys in particular?
Well, if you talk about our team, Meralco, we're done with the elimination round. So basically, we're waiting for all the results in the elimination round. So if San Miguel beats NLEX, that's basically going to put us in the top 4 situation and give us a twice-to-beat advantage in the playoffs. But if NLEX wins, we're going to go down to 5, and NLEX will have a twice-to-beat advantage. So we're going to go up against NLEX if ever they win against San Miguel. So,
of course, you mentioned San Miguel, and when you take a look at San Miguel Beermen right now, the biggest news that has been going around recently is the fact that one guy in particular was not at the All-Stars, Junmar Fajardo, MCL injury from the EASL. Right. Coach Mark, one of the key guys that you mentioned right now, Mo Tautua, is that a reaction because of the fact that Junmar's out?
Absolutely, and he's very capable. This guy is a starter playing a backup position because of Junmar. So he can produce starter numbers. He can average a double-double without Junmar. And this is his opportunity. San Miguel is still a very good team without Fajardo. So they need Mo to step up in that position of Fajardo. And they will need CJ to be the main guy offensively for San Miguel.
CJ Perez, you mentioned, has to be the main guy offensively here, but you take a look at the way that he's kind of changed this game in the past few conferences. All of a sudden, he has a bit of range. We're seeing him score more now throughout the first 3 quarters. Before, he used to be a big bucket getter in just the fourth. What are you seeing in this game?
He's going to be the main point of attack. They're going to run a lot of pick and rolls, and that's more of the style of Coach George Gallant anyway. He plays a lot more perimeter oriented. They like to run the breaks without them. So I think they can still be a contender without Junmar.
Talking about the word contender. So it's only NLEX and Meralco right now who are in contention for a Final Four spot, top 4 spot. And Coach, you mentioned BGR and Alas as the key players here for the NX Road Warriors. But I want to talk about the guy who's going to be affected by them right now.
Right.
And Jegs, when you take a look at the way NX have been playing, a lot of people have been a bit surprised by how they have been performing, especially if you look at what happened last conference. What's going right for them right now?
Well, Kevin Alas is playing really well for the NLEX Road Warriors. I mean, he's in his usual game, but he's stepped it up a little bit here in this conference. You know, finishing through the defense. He's been shooting well from the outside, and Kevin Alas, he's basically the engine on offense here for the NLEX Road Warriors. So he's one of the reasons why they're also one of the top teams here in the PBA.
Coach Mark, BGR, another guy you mentioned, I remember when he first moved to NLEX, he said, I want to be a defense-first guy. And he's been doing that and more.
BGR, to me, I thought coming into this season that he would be potentially one of the best, the premier big man defender in the league. I think he's already in that category right now.
All right.
Well, he changes the defense for NLEX, that's for sure.
He
For all
does,
the
for
guards
sure.
trying to drive.
Because he can do everything. He can
Right.
jump out in the pick and roll. He definitely can block shots. He can switch out on
Very
the small
active,
guys.
Coach.
So very versatile defender.
Absolutely. Coach Mark, maraming salamat. Really appreciate your time and, of course, all the analysis and, of course, gossiping about John Morant. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach Mark.